In this video, you'll be seeing 4 different flexibility tests being done, and that is the Canadian Trunk Forward Flexion Test, the YMCA Sit and Reach Test, the Chair Sit and Reach Test, and the Thomas Test. First thing we're going to do is start with a 5 to 10 minute aerobic warm-up. First is the Canadian Trunk Forward Flexion Test. This test is testing the flexibility of the hamstring and the lower back. We begin this test by taking our shoes off and placing our feet flat against the box, making sure our knees are not bent. We then ensure our hands are directly placed on top of each other, not one in front of the other, reaching as far as we can forward. To reach forward, make sure to exhale for best results. You will then hold this position for 2 seconds. Up next is the YMCA Sit and Reach Test. This test is also testing the hamstrings and lower back. To begin this test, you will start by removing your shoes. Then you will place a yardstick on the floor with a strip of tape on the 15-inch mark. You will then place your feet on the edge of this tape, which will be anywhere from 10 to 12 inches apart. In the test, you will reach forward as far as you can, ensuring your fingers are touching the yardstick. Also, ensure to lead with both hands, not one. Lastly, just as the other test, you want to make sure that you exhale as you reach forward, also ensuring your knees are not bent, and you will hold your position for 2 seconds. Tests that were just discussed are usually used in the younger population. We then move on to the chair sit and reach test, which is usually used in the older population. This test is also testing the lower back and hamstring flexibility. For this test, you will need a chair 17 inches in height and place it against the wall. There is no need in this test to remove your shoes. You will then extend one leg with the ankle dorsiflex, keeping the untested leg flat on the floor, keeping your head in normal alignment. To perform this test, you will then reach forward, making sure to exhale and hold your fingers perfectly in line. You will need to hold this for 2 seconds. It will be necessary to need a second person to hold the ruler and assist. This test will be done on both the right and the left leg. The last test that will be done is the Thomas test, which is testing the hip flexor flexibility. In this test, you will lie supine, bringing your leg to your chest. If the straight leg remains in contact with the mat, hip flexors and that leg are considered flexible. Each test is scored and categorized differently. However, what is the same is that each test is performed twice and the best measurement is taken. This is the scoring chart for the Canadian Trunk Test. It is scored in centimeters. However, these norms are based on a sit and reach box in which the 0 point is set at 26 centimeters. Because we are using a box in which the 0 point is set at 23 centimeters, we will need to subtract 3 centimeters from each of the values in this table. My sit and reach test, I measured at 35.5 centimeters, which puts me in the good category. This is the scoring table for the YMCA sit and reach test. This test is scored in inches. As I scored 21.5 on this test, I am in the well above average category. Score for the chair sit and reach test can either be negative or positive. If the client cannot reach their toe, then the score will be negative on the ruler stick. If the fingers go past the big toe, it is counted as a positive score on the ruler stick. If the client can just touch their toe, it is scored as 0. My sit and reach test, because I reached past my toes, that means my scores will be positive. Left foot I reached 5.5 inches and my right I reached 4.5 inches. And for the Thomas test is very easy. It is either scored as flexible or inflexible. If you are able to bring your leg to your chest and your leg remains in contact with the mat, that means your hip flexors are flexible. If your leg does not remain on the mat, that means they are inflexible. Because my leg stayed in contact with the mat, that means that my hip flexors are flexible on both sides.